Anthony J. Leslie Freeman, and other senior officers here present. So without much ado, I hope your gadgets are set. Ladies and gentlemen of the Fourth Estate, this is our honorable RG who is all set to brief the press on the situation.
Good afternoon to all. Indeed, our God Yahweh is real. Let me first begin by apologizing for the delay, but it's better late than to have inconsistencies in our briefing. So we had to make sure that we gather more pieces of information to be able to accurately inform the public as to where we are. We are very much aware of the eagerness in the general public to hear about developments as far as the fire situation at the Capitol building is concerned. Like the Chief of Press and Public Affairs noted, I'm joined here today by the Director General of the Liberia National Fire Service. When this incident occurred, we announced earlier that there will be joint investigation by the Joint Security of the Republic of Liberia. That have now fallen short. The investigations are underway. The Joint Security is working tirelessly to ensure that we gave the Liberian people some answers to what has happened in the nation. At this point in time, I think it's only fair for us to brief as to how far we are. If you all could recall, over the last few press conferences or briefings that we've had, I've been very, very clear on my words. I've minced my words as far as calling the situation at the Capitol an arson, and told you all that we're still investigating. And we're looking at, even though there were elements pointing towards that, but we could not with all definitive say that it was an arson. Today, January 8th, at this point in time, I'm here to officially inform the nation that we have sufficient evidence to call the act at the Capitol an act of arson. The Chief of Fire Service is here. He will throw some light on it, and then I will also follow up on some briefings as per the establishment of motive and intent, and possible collaborator, conspirators, and executioners of this horrific incident at the Capitol, which is very disturbing to the nation, and that the people are eagerly waiting to hear from us where we are. Honorable Bafo, if you wanted to say a few words, and then I can continue from there, or?
Thank you, RG. Good afternoon. I know some of you been calling me, asking why we are not saying anything. You know, when it comes to investigation, there are a lot of things involved. So you got to take your time to go, through it so that we can get the facts out. Like you said, we have almost at the point of conclusion. And from our observation on the Capitol building, there were flammable substance used to allow in the cause of fire there. And so indeed, like you said, the final report will be out, but we just want to briefly let you know that from our observation, there were flammable substance used that caused the fire at the Capitol building.
Thank you. To throw a little more light on this issue, as part of our investigative analysis, the electrical system at the Capitol building was duly assessed, and it has an automatic circuit breaker that should trick without there is a major short in the building that could lead to fire. Up to the time that the building was ablaze, the grid was still supplying power into the building, which is an indicator that it could not have been a short that caused that particular fire. More so, we also observed from the investigation that the smoke from the fire is consistent with that of an accelerant, the heavy, thick black smoke that we all saw coming from the Capitol building on that day. The color of the flame of the fire as well is also consistent with that of an accelerant as well. We also observe as part of the investigation that the fire with an electric, if it was an electrical fire, it will have a specific place that it will have begun from. But in this case, there were multiple areas that we noticed that the fire picked up from. So it wasn't like from one particular location spreading throughout the room, but from multiple locations around the room. So at this point in time, we are definitive about calling it an arson. We have identified people of interest in this investigation. Those people of interest have been reached. We have sent out clear messages to them to come in to continue the investigation. And in the case where they do not show up, they will be arrested. There's absolutely no one in this country by the Constitution that is immune from such felonious act. And as such, it is our hope that people will willingly cooperate with this investigation. So far, so good. We haven't had any hostile posture from any of those that we would like to speak to. So we believe that that cooperation will be continued and that we will be able to subsequently brief you all when a full briefing has been done at the level of the National Security Council and some of our findings are declassified that we will be able to give out to the press. At this point, I would like to rest. I know you have one, a few or two questions, and then we can take it on from there.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the press, if you want to ask a question, you will raise your hand, be recognized before you speak, please. So, Winston Company.
Thank you, Honorable Achi. My name is Winston Larry from Banana. Can you care to tell us the name of that suspects that were used and who are those referred to as person of interest? You want to call some names to us, since you have reached out to them?
So at this point, Winston, I would like to hold on to the names. Like I said, we have a detailed briefing to give to the. For now, the briefings are still classified. When we make that presentation at the level of the National Security Council, they will authorize a level of declassification, at which point in time we will be able to reach out and inform the public. But in addition to just the issue of the color of the and said as to how much we could do, so we got the EPA involved and we have LPRC involved. Both bodies corroborated the presence of flammable substances in that particular container that was found at the Capitol as well. Like I say, those who did the act, they know themselves, and it's my hope that they will start to come in, because if you don't come, if you don't cooperate, we'll go for you, and they know themselves.
So my name is Fabienne and I report for LBS. My question has to do with your previous press conference last week.
Yes, please.
Where you mentioned about foreign experts coming in to determine the cause of the fire. And I remember during our press conference, there was some limitation to our fire service. So why now, today, our fire service is coming in with the investigation and not the foreign experts that you earlier talked about?
So, Fabienne, thank you. That's an excellent question. The scene is still preserved just as is, as was from the day of the occurrence. We're still waiting experts to come in to also look at the pieces of evidence. But from the day that that incident occurred, based on the expertise available on the ground, we knew that the occurrences were consistent with that of an arson. We pulled back a bit to see if we could get additional expert advice before we could call it that. But the fire investigation is also being done in line with criminal investigation. So on the basis of the criminal investigation and the fact that we are being able to collect sufficient evidence to speak to facilitation, conspiracy, and execution thereof, which we have evidence by the burning of the place, we are with all definitive certain of that particular act being an arson.
All right. Spoon FM, Spoon Radio, Spoon Entertainment. We'd like to welcome you again. Thanks for joining us tonight on another edition of the Late Night Show, the Late Night Politics on Spoon. As we talk Liberia tonight, let's hope we can have a great conversation. This is where we discuss the interests of our country, and irrespective of who's involved, we bring you objective analysis here every night, making sure you're informed. We provide you the updates and all of that as we come on here with the Late Night Show. I'd like to welcome all of you across the world. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nelson Colette, and yes, please share the program as you come on. As you know, we're live across the internet, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, Super TV, and a host of other radio stations across the country relaying the program. Let me go across the table and welcome Cindy, who is already here with us. Cindy, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to have you on. No, I can't hear you, Cindy. Okay, hold on one second. Let me see this. No, I can hear you. So maybe you have to log out and then try to log on. But I really can't hear you. Yeah, so folks, thanks for joining us. We're here tonight, and I want to welcome all of you. Please share the program as you come on. Mary Doe, Sheikh Wari, Jatu Kennedy, Fofana TV, Freeman, our dear sister, and everyone joining us tonight. Thanks for coming on. Vigilant Soiree, Eric McGill, Nathaniel K. Hill. Thanks to everyone for coming on tonight. This edition of the Late Night Show, the Late Night Politics on Spoon. I want to welcome all of you to the program tonight. Cindy, let's see if your audio is better now. I want to see if you we'll be able to hear you if you spoke into your mic. Can you hear me? Cindy, can you hear me? Okay, so I think he's still making adjustments on that. So, but there's a whole lot happening across the country, and we provide you we brought you the press conference today addressed by the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police and the Liberia National Fire Service. It was an elaborate one, very important information, pieces of information got released today regarding the Capitol building fire situation. And yes, I want to welcome all of you tonight. Cindy, can you hear me? You want to say something? Your mic, I see, is muted. So maybe once you can work on that, then we can get you coming on. It seems your microphone is still muted. Maybe you can make some adjustments with respect to that, and then we can have the conversation flowing here tonight. But there's a whole lot going on. So the LMP National Fire Service press conference um, was an engaging one today, providing update, uh, providing updates on. So Sandy, you want to say something into your mic?
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, great, great. I don't know how you do your setup, but sometimes you lost audio
Yeah,
and
I have
some
two
issue.
mics here. So one, sometimes one will give issue. Uh,
Okay,
but we are here now. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and it's good to see you. Um, that regular background, the Liberian flag. We change position most times. We
This
will try to establish the circumstances surrounding the change in the position of the flag.
the flag is just on the other side, right here. I'm still in the same spot. Just using a different monitor. That's it.
But no, but okay, Alfred, welcome to the show. At one point, you see the flag is facing down, like what I see before me now. At
Uh-huh.
some point, the flag was upright. It was in the regular position, but that's okay.
When
That's
it's
okay.
upright, it's blocking this window. You see right there, it block the window. That's why.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But I want to welcome you all. Alfred, it's good to see you again. It's been a while since we last saw you. Thanks for joining us tonight. You want to say something? Let's be sure your audio is working.
Good evening.
Senior Comrade Konoa, how you doing?
I'm doing good, my brother. I'm doing very good.
Thank God.
Okay, so it seems you're very close to your gadget. It's over modulating, so you could just step back a little or get the gadget a little bit away. Your audio
Are we
device,
good?
whether it's a microphone or whatever you're using, because
No,
it
I'm
might.
using a full microphone. So,
Oh, okay,
so
okay. Yeah, but then yours is extra. Okay, that's great. But it's a good thing that we're here tonight. With a whole lot happening across the country, I want us to go straight into the program tonight. Not much of a time on our side. A lot of you follow the situation with um the update provided by Fire Service and the Liberian National Police today. An elaborate press conference there, and yes, the folks from the minority block, Councillor Kofa Black, going back to have conference, to have the regular session now with their colleagues. And they say they're crossing over. Today, Chairman Musa Belede made an appearance on the local radio station where he accused the executive and the the Supreme Court of undermining his political future, you know, of undermining all they've tried to do to preserve the rule of law. So he said, this is unfortunate that the executive is working with the Supreme Court to do all of this. And he said, since they're not getting response from the executive regarding the interpretation of the court's ruling, that's what has triggered their decision now to go back and join their folks. Well, we've been speaking to Liberians. Some have termed the whole thing as a waste of time, since in fact they knew that they would have gone to join their folks when the majority block. Why there's been so much of a delay in doing that? Well, those were some concerns, and this is where we are with that. But he's officially the chairman of the minority bloc, as per the last press conference that he addressed, and what we've gathered so far. The government, the Ministry of Liberia, sorry, the Ministry of Public Works, the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Public Works have started marking um, the road pavement, the corridor from Buchanan to Sestos, and this is part of efforts to get that corridor paved. So the most of you are aware that the ITI bridge in Riverses recently collapsed. That has been a major setback to folks within that region. So the the project, which is funded by the African Development Bank, is now in full swing. They've started on the groundwork to ensure that these projects can go on. They can be a successful one. So pavement along that corridor is set to begin very soon, as soon as the markings, the payment of those within the project way can be done, and all of those things. Then you can be assured that this project will officially start. Well, we did some outreach today to um, other parts of to Liberians, getting from them, trying to establish their own take. Between the two administrations, the first year in power, there has been mixed reactions today. Um, with some Liberians saying that the Unity Party first year in power was better than the CDC, while others were saying that the CDC first year in power was better than the Unity Party. Others put the two administrations at an equilibrium level. They are the same level, equal, 50-50. And yes, so it's been that way. And in the midst of everything, we're expected to see the legislature return on the 13th of January. That's on Monday. And immediately following that, a lot will now follow. The president returned to the country today from Ghana, and he didn't get to speak to the press, but his return was today. And it is expected that maybe the president will, engage with the media to say what the outcome. But obviously, it was for the inauguration in Ghana, based on the invite he received, and so that's where we are with that. The president have also signed. I think it was the night before last or so, when one of our followers asked a question about whether the president have signed a budget or whether the budget have been passed. Yes, the legislature passed the budget, and the president has signed it. So it means that the budget is now a law. What is expected now is the full implementation of the budget as per the 4 quarters and all of that. But the president have signed onto the national budget in the tune of 888 million. So yes, these are our issues, and I want to say welcome to everyone. I think we can start the conversation from here. And Cindy, uh, let's start with you. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind? So outside of the topic that we are
Yeah,
discussing
outside of the
tonight,
conversation yet.
well, I want to go back again on the issue of the appointment of the president of the UL,
Mhm.
and I, being someone who strongly supports higher education or who believe in higher education, I want to just encourage the government. We thank God now that the budget has been passed, and I will hope that with the budget being passed, the UL will be prioritized. Given that we have a new president who I believe will bring transformation to the UL when or if supported. I want to encourage the government to strongly support the new president, provide the resources that the university need to operate fully. In most countries, public universities are usually what private universities try to compete with because government was fully sponsor those institutions and private institutions want to compete with them so they can stay on par. In Liberia, we see the opposite. In fact, it is the private institutions that are now taking over higher education or even education in general in our country. So I hope that the new president uh, will be heavily supported. by this administration.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Alfred, what's on your mind outside of the topic? What is it you want to talk about just before we move into the
Yes, in our same vein, that was what on my mind as it relates to education in Liberia. I am particularly concerned with the Ministry of Education and specifically with the Minister of Education. We were sometimes ago on the show talking about her level of pedigree and the level of experience she has, that she would have come to Liberia and do the needful to ensure that we not just the school buildings, but at least that we can have an education system that is gradually growing. I don't want to say robust. But this, Nelson, I stand to be corrected. I think she was confirmed. Her confirmation hearing was in February, I think on the 24th, I believe. Um, and since then, she has not come to the public to talk about her assessment as it relates to the education sector in Liberia. That is concerning because it's almost 1 year since our confirmation. We have not heard anything in terms of the quote unquote so-called arrest agenda. What is the Ministry of Education vision for Liberia in terms of education for the next 10 years? What strategic value, or let's say plan, that she has to kind of uplift our education system in Liberia? I'm concerned about that. And I hope that the Ministry of Education, she will come up very soon to tell us exactly what has been her assessment for primary and secondary education in Liberia, because that is the foundation for our education system in Liberia. You know, it's been almost 1 year. She has not come to tell us anything as it relates to those two sectors of our education system. So I think it's something that is important that we need to talk about tonight. And if we can get folks from the Ministry of Education to come and tell us exactly what's going on. Thank you.
Well, thanks a lot, Alfred, and that's those are very great concerns. The educational sector of the country is a bedrock of uh, every everything we want to see in terms of as far as moving forward is concerned. But I want us to start the conversation now, and we we have a lot happening. One update I left out was this situation with the lady. I believe most of you must have watched the video. The lady who lost her 21-year-old son when went to do a minor surgery, and surgery having even been done, and she lost her son. And according to her, the doctor admitted to her that it was a mistake. There was some mistake, and she's been crying because it's her only son and a very promising young man who I just graduated from the BWI won 5 awards, was just about leaving the country for studies, and this tragic situation happened. And she's been calling for something to be done, but the sad part is the young man's life cannot come back. And there was a tragic motor accident in the Samoka town area today as well, that resulted to the death of a motorcyclist. The angry crowd vandalized the vehicle, broke through it and all of that. But the guy was sitting under the tires. You could imagine how painful, the situation was. He lost his life in that tragic situation. Yeah, so there's a whole lot happening. But I want us to start the conversation with this whole issue about the road safety in Liberia. Um, where do we start this conversation from? Where do we start this process from? Now, I know the Liberia National Police quite recently, that's about a year ago now, wrote out this process with motorcyclists, trying to enforce helmet for motorcyclists, making sure that if you don't have helmet, you don't have the safety gears, you don't plan certain corridors, especially the main route, making sure that motorcyclists have driver's license. It was a very tough one, but interestingly, even up to now, a lot of people are still adhering to it. You still have police checkpoints in some of the places, trying to make sure that motorcyclists who are applying certain corridors have those safety equipment, those safety gears, and they meet the requirement to apply those corridors and all of that. But even with this, Cindy, a lot of lives are still being lost. A lot of lives are still being lost. So many. And the thing about this situation is that bulk of the people we're losing to road accident in our country are people who are in the productive age range. People who are in their maybe late 20s, in their 30s, early 40s, just within that range. These are the people that we're losing on a daily basis. If it is not a motorcycle accident, there's some truck running over someone. There's some. I mean, where do we start to fix this particular thing from? Where exactly? At what point do we really start to see some improvement in this area? I mean, I want us to start a conversation here. We can go all night talking about the role of the angry mob, what they did, the vandalized the vehicle. I'm going to put some of the photos up as well of that particular vehicle, what happened, how they engaged the vehicle. And in fact, what we do, let me just share just a portion of this video, and then we're going to go into the conversation. Let me share a portion of the situation today. I hope it doesn't capture the graphic aspect of it where the guy is seen under the truck and all of that. But let's see if we can get this one here. Well, it was a very emotional scene. Just seeing the position, the truck, how that truck ran, how did it even happen? But this guy was a motorcyclist, according to information. But there are different sides to this thing. You see, the guy is being hit by the truck on one end, but then you see a group of other young men are throwing stones at the truck. Angry crowd. A lady in the background is very emotional about the situation, and then trying to give an idea of what's happening. But I mean, where do we start to fix this issue from? Road safety in Liberia, as much as it's not respective of status or what have you, anybody can be a victim of road accident, all of these things. Where do we start to fix the issue from? I mean, let's start the conversation with you, Cindy. Fambole, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Nelson, look, accident happens everywhere. Let's establish that. In the U.S., one of the leading cause of death is car accident, crashes every year. It's one of the leading cause of death. But there are measures. I'm hearing some feedback. I don't know where it's coming from. But there are measures.
Yeah.
It's coming from you, Nelson. There are measures in this country. Thank you. There are measures in this country that try to minimize accidents. So there are rules, and the rules are enforced. So, like for instance, you see police everywhere trying to enforce the rule. Secondly, you will see traffic lights everywhere. You will see traffic cameras everywhere. There are regulations or there are rules here that are enforced, and one of them is the issue of you can't drink and drive. right? So there are measures in place. Also, there are certain roads that trucks cannot drive on or are not allowed to drive on at certain time or even period. They can't even take certain route at all, certain level of trucks. You know, they have some height and weight. There are roads that you cannot take. In Liberia, Nelson, and we have a major challenge.
Hmm.
We have the regulations, right? We have the rules. Our problem is that we don't enforce the rules consistently. So we have what I refer to as temporary enforcement, right? So, like the issue of the bicycling helmet issue, that was very temporary. Right now, as you just confirmed, there are parts of Monrovia where those guys will still be riding their bike where they still don't wear their helmets. We see trucks driving on pretty much every single road, 1 lane road, 2 lane roads, any hours of the day, speeding. Nelson, when those trucks are passing by you on those roads, it's like, I mean, you got to be careful. You have to be alert every time when you're driving. I have driven from Monrovia to Buchanan, a very scary road. I have driven from Monrovia to Grand Gita going through Nimba, that Ganta highway, very scary. I have driven to the western closet of Liberia, very scary. In fact, there is no demarcation to tell you whether which side you're supposed to be driving on. There is no lane. There is nothing dividing the road, right? You have to know as a driver that you have to be on the right side, right? But there is no lane between to say, this is your side, the other guy coming, this is their side. It's so sad. It's so sad. And we share those roads with bike riders. We share the road with pedestrians. We
Mhm.
share those roads with pretty much everyone. And they just speed. Well, how will we address these things? Again, it boils down to having law enforcement paying them on time and putting them in key strategic area where they can monitor traffic, monitor and enforce traffic. Then eventually we will get to a point where we can even have things like traffic camera. I mean, Rwanda, they have traffic camera, man, on their highway. Why can't we do those things too? We always complain we are broke. You are not broke than Rwanda. You're not supposed to be broke than Rwanda. You're not supposed to be. But because of our mindset and poor management and everything should go in the pocket of lawmakers and top government officials, that's why we don't have those things.
Wow. Um. Thank you, Sandy. I want us to hear from you, Alfred. Your take on this conversation.
I will just speak up from where Sandy start. Man, corruption is a disease. Corruption is a disease. Nothing. I was given a traffic ticket week before the last when I traveled to one of the cities in my area just because I overtook the guy that was in front of me and I went above the speed limit 3 miles. I was given an $89 ticket for going over the speed limit 3 miles.
After
Three
how
miles.
many years, sorry, in a same Iowa, they give me $250 ticket before. I
Okay.
will not tell you what I did with that one. That's
So
me.
guess the road I was driving on
Wow.
is actually a road that you can't take over because you have trucks on that road. That particular road, that county highway, is for trucks. And the GPS put me on that road because I wanted to use the fast road to get to my house. So it put me on the county highway. Okay. And you can't take over on that road because of the trucks. I went over the speed limit 3 miles because I overtaken a guy that was in front of me. And the police officer just passed by me with a car and turned around and came back to me. I paid $89. So that is what we're talking about, enforcement of the law. The people that are enforcing the law, they can't really see what the government is doing. Everybody corrupt. From the president down, everybody corrupt. The people pay taxes, they don't know where the taxes go. The police officers are on the street that enforcing that law for the taxes to be paid. He only get one uniform to wear. If he lucky, he get two. Then they get him $150 US a month. It can come on time. You see?
So,
Besides that, we have a Ministry of Transport.
Alfred,
We have a Ministry of Transport that is dormant
Alfred,
completely.
can you
The only
hear?
time you see them on the street when it's time to do vehicle inspection
Alfred,
or
can you hear?
registration.
Can you hear me, Alfred?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
About now are the problems, are the issues, but at what point? How do we fix it?
Nelson, we need people with vision.
And
We
because
need vision. We need people with vision in the country.
as we're speaking now, a lot of people are losing their lives. That young man probably left his home to go and do his regular hustle, ended up under the truck. Yes, the angry crowd, they're throwing stone at the truck, but it's not going to bring his life back. At what point do we, get to fix this thing so that, yes, we know accident, these things are unforeseen situations, but again, to minimize the frequency of these happenings.
Nelson, Liberia is in a bad place. Liberia is in a bad place. Look, we have had peace for the last almost 20 plus years. There's no vision. Nelson, tell me, for God's sake, we have had 3 different government, right? Administration, let me put it that way. 3 different administration. I'm talking about as per the constitution now, right? We have 3 different administration. Just tell me, where can you point to that you will say in the next 10 to 5 to 10 years, this is where Liberia will be? The first administration, it was corruption. The second one, when she came out again, it was worse. She took responsibility. Nobody was taken to court for investment or nothing. The third administration that came, they said we are all cousins, we are all related, so we can't punish each other when we do wrong. We can't punish each other. The third one, the fourth one is there now. We are burning down Capitol building. We have the president indulging illegal removal of a sitting speaker. A sitting president is indulging an illegal removal of a sitting speaker. Then you say the country will move somewhere in terms of rules and law.
Okay, so thank you.
We are joking. We are joking.
And move to Fambule. Fambule, let's talk about this issue of road safety in Liberia. What's your take?
So, thank you very much, Nelson. This again is a major problem, and the problem is that our people are not too educated, and because of the illiteracy rate of our country and the poor education system has made so many people not to think critically, and the only thing that it has reverted us to is just violence. As I've seen accidents, and I've seen the outcome of the mob violence that come after the accidents. That country will not be stabilized until the mindset of the ordinary people are changed. I don't know whether it is because of the post-war trauma that makes so many people not to become and to find amicable way to resolve problem, but reverting to violence. There was an accident which is unforeseen. No one calculated that, because if it was something that people can envision, they were able to divert and stop the accident. The accident has already happened. 2 wrong cannot correct or 2 wrong cannot make a right. You cannot say that the truck had an accident and we all crying for the loss of the innocent man who is still lying on the truck, and then you have other young people taking stone and throwing the truck, endangering another life. And even people who are in the surrounding, they are also in danger because our rock that we're throwing without direction or magnitude, you don't even know. It was not a precision strike that you're doing. You say, oh, I'm throwing it directly on this part of the truck. So you could be throwing rock at the truck and you can also hit another person and cause another problem. So the fundamental problem that we have in Liberia is people are not able to reasonably sit and analyze issue, but people are too impulsive. They get do things quickly without thinking. Road safety needs education. People are not, you see that? This is sad for our country. How on earth can we look at this image and say that damaging this truck has solved the problem of the innocent soul that is lying on the floor over there? We are not going anywhere as a country until we can change our mindset and the way we do things.
Sorry, I need to keep this photo up a bit because yes, the accident, the loss of life, you can see the guy's motorcycle at the far end there and the guy's on the truck. But the other aspect of this thing is the way people respond to accident situation in the country. Now, this is just one of many cases. There will be a situation where an accident occurred. People get on the scene based on how severe the impact of that accident is. People will not even be concerned about taking the victim to hospital, but they're going after the driver or trying to burn the vehicle that was involved in the accident without investigation to know who was wrong, who was right. If it was with a motorcycle in a car, motorcyclists coming around, the first concentration would be how they can burn that vehicle. How do we drive away from this culture? How do we drive away from this approach, this pattern? Has it even helped our situation over the years?
Look, Nelson, we have said this over and over and again. Liberia has come to a point where many of its people are the ones who are causing the embarrassment that we have today. This starts on the grassroots level. Our people need to understand that there are so many reasons. Nowhere in developed country you see accident and people going on the scene right away and start throwing stone. In the United States, when there's an accident, the first thing they'll create a zone or safety zone where nobody can even go closer to. The police will come, do that mapping, do that preliminary findings and investigation. Who was wrong? Who was right? They will call on the safety team to come, the emergency team to come for people who need emergency care. Take care of them. They will take care of their life first, and then all other things will fall in place. But in our country, when something happens, first of all, we don't even know whether the truck went out had mechanical fault. We don't even know. That was not even established. We don't even know whether the motorcycle went on the wrong side of the driver, because in driving, we all know that certain part of the road, especially with the narrow road we have, especially that particular spot. I know that spot in this way. That spot has a very huge pothole on the road over there. Many a time the car always dodging that right side of the road and coming towards the left side to cross that this way junction, because I was teaching the AGN school that is right on that this way road. So I know that particular spot. Anyone who live around the this way junction, they know there's a big pothole over there. Many a time the car who
and you heard about that.
Yeah,
you heard about that. That's the situation with that.
They always come. Even me at my car will always dodge a small area, and at that same spot, you have motorbikes coming from this way, motorbike coming from going towards the junction. They all pack right to that same spot to put people down and pick up people. And we don't know what the mechanical situation of that truck driver, where he was dodging, that pothole, or people who were getting down out of motorbike or keke from that red side, and he went into the accident. So sometimes things happen, but we just will have to, desist from the attitude that when something happens, because that big truck, anytime they see truck, they say, oh, that a habit. Those truck driver, they say they are reckless. We know truck driver can be reckless, but it does not still negate the fact that throwing rock and burning that truck will not solve the problem.
Thank you. I want to hold you there, Fambule. Sandy, you want to come in quickly? Then we'll bring Alfred because we need a transition.
So I do want to agree with family on the issue of the lack of education and the approach our people are taking. But family, I want to deviate a little bit and shift the blame from just the people themselves, but also put it on our government. And this is not just for President Bouaga. I mean, he just became a president. But going back to President Salih, what have we done after the war to rehabilitate the Liberian people? Most of the people now in the country, family, are people that either experienced the war directly or were affected as the consequence of the war. Some of the people that were born either during the war or right after the war, and those that actually experienced the war. The PTSD in our country, my brother, is a lot.
Thank you.
Our government has failed us to rehabilitate us, and they are still failing our family. They don't educate the people on anything. There's the country, the people are not being rehabilitated, they're not being educated on anything. So now our people always resort, they are so angry. Our country, there are so many angry people, family. And some of them, and most of them, I should say, have the right to be. Not only are they affected by war, but they are still being affected by corruption. Most of them hungry. Family, when a man is hungry, he's angry. Every little thing, he's going to use that energy to cause damage. That's what we're seeing across the country. So small accident, the man run there, he throws stone. Somebody arguing, they go and take call out. You see, all these things are happening. Most of the youth in that country, they are unemployed, they are not being rehabilitated, they are frustrated with what happened in the country, and that's the result you see in there. So
I want to hold you there, Cindy, and Alfred, I saw you wanted to make a quick point just before we transition.
Yeah, quickly, let's just add to. I mean, this thing we're always saying the same thing, but one thing I want to say here is that Nelson, any country that does not prioritize the rule of law, that country is bound for chaos. Any country that does not prioritize the rule of law, our people don't trust the judicial system anymore. The only thing that they trust is to vet their anger and do whatever they can do. The last time I was here, I talked about the mob violence that took place on the non-Japanese highway, where they said 2 of our citizens went to steal motorbike, right? Today, the IG had a major press conference. He never talked about that incident. What has happened to that investigation? Did they find anyone to be culpable of that murder on the Japanese freeway around the 72nd belt? It was never mentioned. We don't take enough.
Alfred, is it fair to say too that usually when these things happen, there will be a window period for investigation? Take for example the fire situation at Capitol Building. It happened on the 18th of December. Since that time up until now, we've had just 2 updates, just 2 press conferences in the period of 3 weeks. So, Alfred, is it fair to say that the authorities would need to have information before coming to speak to these issues, especially when there's investigation going on?
Nelson, right now as we speak, a whole city is burning. It's burning in California. Palisade in California is burning. Every hour, the governor is reporting on our situation. How many people died? What has happened on the ground? And what the government is doing to save lives. That's what we're talking about, effective governance. Our people, we are not serious to run a government. But now, what happened at the Capitol building? We should not be seeing Gregory Coleman passing around during a press conference. He should have resigned, because they see Greg is on record of saying that he provided security to the Capitol building. He should resign. But Liberia is not a serious country. Liberia is not a serious country. So you'll find people that Gregory will still be passing around shameless.
Alfred,
and in authority.
No, Alfred, let's do this. We can't be coming here with the diverse audience we have and keep saying Liberia is not a serious country. You know, I take serious exception to that. As a Liberian, Liberia may have her own issues, but Liberia is a country. Liberia is a serious country. So why are you saying
Nelson,
country?
can I say
Nothing.
something very
That
quickly? Let me
tells,
say
look,
something very
we live, I don't want to, listen,
No, man.
Nelson.
I-
Let
Let me
me
tell you
end
something,
on this.
Nelson.
Let me end on this, right? We have 14 years of civil conflict because of what? The lack of rule of law. The war has ended. We have gone over 20 plus years of relative peace. The country is not in a direction. It's not yet in a direction that we can say this country is a serious country. That brother has not reached there yet.
Thank you. Family, you
Look,
want to
look,
quickly
Nelson, I don't know. Sometimes, my brother Alfred, anyway, sometimes it's okay, but you cannot talk about California, whose even economic standpoint is triple Liberia, a whole country. You don't go there.
Don't say
You-
triple. California is richer than Japan.
I mean, imagine that. I say again, even triple. I don't even know how to quantify that. You can't even call California. And investigation in Liberia is so difficult. I hope Alfred knows the country he's talking about. We don't even have the forensic, part to come to a conclusive end of that incident that even happened at the Capitol. Do we have the technical know-how to get all of the evidence that we need? It's not easy. If you listen to the IG today, he said he is even contemplating on getting external support to help to conclude his investigation. To investigate issue like that in Liberia is so difficult. We don't have all of the material. In fact, we get even screen camera to even get corporate who go do more violence. That's 77 something. How do you expect for you to catch people who get passing all around and they go to court and man?
Now you come out to what I was saying, that the country don't have vision. The leaders don't have vision.
It doesn't
They're
mean the
fighting
country
among
doesn't have
themselves
vision.
about
They
how
have
to put money in their pocket, and what they're fighting among themselves on. There's no vision.
Alfred, you want to drag up to the Capitol building? We'll get to Capitol building. Let's deal with the issues we have at hand. Yeah, let's remain.
I'm pay. Let's take it slow.
Go to Capitol building. You know, I know you're very, on fire with this whole Capitol building thing. We'll get there, but I want us to watch this video and let's have this conversation before transitioning. A very important one here. The lady. Okay, so let's see. I think it's.
Flower in my garden, only flowers, flower. My graduate that was I was selling a war. 7 different awards. I'm very brilliant. God must tell me where did I go wrong? I'm an only child.
What mercy? What happened to my son? My hand started to chew. I started scratching my hair, started getting hurt. My skin. I said, Doctor, I'm alone in here. Why are you telling me? When you say accident, as you can see, just like this, he said, do you have anybody in the world we call? I said, don't tell me anything I don't want to do. That is the only child I have. I don't have any other child to see. I've done everything humanly possible to take my son through. Like, please, doctor, don't do anything. I'll be meditated. Okay, I accept. I said, but just tell me that my son is alive. I said, okay. So he said, also, I said, I accept that answer. Well, just tell me that my son is alive. I felt like the accident made me to major court, or there was something on my mind that not brought to anything called death. Oh, everyone knows that. My mind was never on death. So he said, I called my sister. I got her number and they called. I said, come on, my Alice, come. She said, what happened? I said, I don't know. I tell you, the doctor tell me, say, I said, they come. And I call my brother, but then he was praying. If we went inside, I called some pastor, Pastor Fanny. I said, Pastor Fanny, I said, okay, for what shoe? Yeah, I went, oh, but Tato tell me there's an accident. He said, no, we refuse and we reject it. I said, yes, that Tato report. We will not accept the Tato report is not God report. I started praying. I started to pray. I started to cry to God. I said, God, let there be no major injury on my son. I was just focusing on accident. Maybe they caught him, or maybe they hurt him, maybe they affected, because he made mention during that possibility from he said, because like when you do the surgery, it can affect the main. So that's when my heart was going. I said, maybe they are expecting my son main. So I was like, well, nothing dangerous should happen to my son. No, no, but there was no more alive. And I started to pray from my ear. I was going walking up and down. Praying, Pastor Fanny praying. I see that my sister calling back and my brother calling. We are on our way. Nurses talking to our no longer paying attention to my phone. We go to prayer and I started to sing and sing.
Well, this lady, 21-year-old son, had hernia, went to do a minor surgery. And this happened. She said the doctor told her that it was a mistake. There was an accident. What is even um, what is even of a concern is that, according to the information, the accident occurred when they had not done the surgery yet. They had just taken him to the room, to get the procedure started, and then boom, an accident. And she's calling for something to be done. But it's, I mean, it, let's go around the table with this conversation. I'm finding it difficult where to get it started from. Um, Medically, some of the folks are saying that yes, these are things. Accident can happen in every profession. People can make mistakes. While others are saying that this shouldn't be the kind of mistakes we'll be seeing. Is it on the health sector of the country? Is it that, I mean, is there a way we can we can get to that point where we minimize the frequency of these things? Because this is just one of many different instances, many cases that have gone on across the country. I mean, let's start with you, Fambole. Then we're gonna go to Cindy and then Alfred.
Well, Nelson, my heart is heavy, and I just realized that the people that you just put up in the video, I have some familiarity with them. I know them. I know the family, and I just want to correct that it was not a minor surgery. Any surgery that require regional or general anesthesia is not a minor surgery. So that was not a minor surgery. It was a major surgery,
Okay.
and he died before the procedure started. So I work in surgery. I'm a certified surgical technologist. I work in surgery. Currently, I work in vascular surgery. So I've seen so many things, so many complications when it comes to people um dying even before the procedure starting. But the issue here is that man, it's so bad that in the pre-op process they check all of his vitals and everything was normal. They I don't know how they ran the test dose for the anesthesia. What kind of what type of anesthetics they use, and how they manage that situation that he died even before the procedure can even before they even started incision. So in developed country here there's a huge liability, and they have the doctor's trial here. People will go before competent board to adjudicate what went wrong. There was some malpractice, and that is a serious violation. That is serious violation. Somebody somewhere can lose their license, and there's a huge repercussion for that. They have caused serious problem, and already there are so many Liberians who believe, there's this fear of the unknown. Any individual, especially when you go to a hospital, when you go to any hospital, the patient always have the fear of the unknown. Am I going to get well? People already have this anxiety. That's the reason why before the surgery, the surgeon will send the anesthesiologist to go in there, talk with the patient and the family, tell them the pros and the cons, what's going to happen, and they should prepare themselves mentally. And if there is doubt, the anesthesiologist will make sure to alleviate that doubt before the patient is even scrubbed, into the OR, is even ushered into the OR. So there are a lot of things that they might have run some tests, everything to make sure that he's fit enough, and the method of anesthetic they're going to use, everything should have been resolved before they can even induce him and get him ready for the process. There was some kind of a misstep somewhere, and now they call it an accident, and that is a serious problem. So I just want to extend my condolences to the family. I know that he was a brilliant young man. He was about to even go for his studies. He was about to travel out of the country, but his mom insisted that she never wanted him to go with a medical problem. He cannot be having, hernia or that kind of a form, and you go in another country. If something happened, they will say something else. So the man was thinking that they were going to resolve the situation, and then he can be fit enough to go. But it was just an unfortunate situation that while you preparing to go somewhere, the devil was busy on the other hand trying to get rid of him. And I
Wow.
just extend my sincere condolences to the family. And if I mean, the law will have to come in and investigate. And I don't know whether we have laws on our books that can I don't know whether the criminal code can come in on this, or whether there's any law that can investigate this one, and punitive action be taken so that next time the right thing can be done. Thank you, Nelson.
Sandy, let's hear you.
Well, this is a very sad one, Nelson, and family. You know the family, so I also extend my condolences to the family. It's a very sad story. Nelson, I was in Liberia 2021. My childhood friend, my best friend, one of my best friends, J. Gaddafi Say, and I traveled around Grand Gila. We had a great time. I left Liberia December. March, sometime in March, I got a call that he had a keke accident. A keke hit a car. And that he was complaining about pain on his right side. They took Gaddafi to the 14 military hospital. I got on the call with Gaddafi the day before his surgery. He was there, but man, I just pain on my right side, but the people will do surgery tomorrow. They say blood went in my system. That very day, right after the surgery, my best friend Gaddafi died. According to the 14 military hospital, they had an error. Another family friend that I know recently died towards the end of last year, same 14 military hospital. Nelson, these accident errors from surgeries in Liberia that are leading to death are so many. And they are going unchecked. They are going unchecked. A provider telling the family, I made an error is not enough. There must be investigation. In medical practice, Nelson, when things like that happen, you take the provider aside and there is a proper investigation. to prove whether the error was led to negligence on the part of the provider or whether it wasn't any negligence on the part of the provider. If that negligence is proven to be a negligence on the part of the provider, there are serious consequences that will be taken. There can be medical errors that are not due to negligence. Our brother explained the process leading to surgery here very well. But if the medical team that are performing the surgery make error that lead to someone's death, it must be investigated. But the unfortunate part is we have a country that don't investigate those things. That don't invest. I'm not going to call a doctor name, but the two instances I told you about, I am reliably told that is one medical doctor at a 14 military hospital. And in fact, it's a doctor that I know very well. So sad. And the person is still practicing actively today in Liberia. I will hope that what happened to this woman's son may wake us up. People will support her in the process. The discussion was held on Spoon today. I heard there will be some outreach to her. I pray and hope she can get some help. Hire some great lawyers in the country or even outside of the country to really look into what happened. The provider has already confessed and said, we made an error. Let the provider tell the people through investigation what kind of error was made, what led to the error. And if it's found to be negligent, or if he or she found to be negligent, let the law take its course. Again, I just want to extend my sincere condolences to the family. It's so sad that a 21-year-old, potential 21-year-old, smart 21-year-old will lose his life from a medical surgery.
Alfred?
I'd like to join my colleagues to extend my condolences to the family on this tragic loss. Nelson, this is the only one that we are able to hear. This is the only one that we are able to hear. There are many people who have died in our country as a result of this error. And it's still happening. Nelson, let me say this. I work in health and human services. And the very minimum procedure is medication administration. When you go to give a person that's a pill or a medicine, and that person refuses to take that medicine, the process is that you're going to write a medical error incident report and state why the person refused to take that medication. Immediately to your supervisor will report that to the next higher up. The next higher up will report it to make sure that refusal is documented properly. So just in case something happens to that person, you have record to show. Do our people follow procedure in our country? Like what my brother, our family was saying. What were the processes? Did they follow the process? 2021, Nelson, I will end on this. My wife was induced with our tail baby. I was in that room. Before the anesthesiologist came in the room, he had to call me. I have to go for counseling. Before I signed the paper for them to induce her, I have 5 doctors that came to talk to me. 5. All of them were in our room, in our delivery room. 5. And everyone told me their expertise and why this particular operation was necessary for my wife. And the consequence thereof, I stayed in our room for almost 2 hours signing different papers. They prepared me before I agreed for them to induce my wife to give birth. This is what we're talking about. When you are in a country where the people don't have vision, these are the things that happen. Because the issue of rule of law will not be there. They're not following no institutional procedure. They're not following nothing because they know there is no repercussion, no consequences. They can do anything and go scot-free. Look at what happened today. We're talking about the accident in Caldwell. Yeah, accident happened. A citizen are ready that see the accident will be ready to call 911. They not go on the scene, or just stay in the house and call 911. Before you know it, you have the EMS coming, the emergency response team coming. You see the fire service coming. You see the police coming. So that scene, nobody going to go there and start disrupting, going to the crime scene and doing all kinds of things, throwing stone. You will not see that. But in our country, you see all the nonsense going on because you know why? We have leaders with no vision. Nelson, you are muted.
So Nelson,
Sorry.
I have this clarity to make because while we were talking, I just saw someone said that the situation in Liberia, the misfortunes that happened could be a minor surgery. And the reason why I said it is not a minor surgery because in Liberia we do not use laparoscopic procedures. We are not doing that much laparoscopic surgery in Liberia. And laparoscopic is when they're using small invasive cuts and they're using camera to go in and correct the wrong. But in Liberia, we're just going through incision. We're just cutting, opening, and taking last section and just opening last incision. So it's a major surgery. So the pre-operative assessment, doing pre-operative assessment, the anesthesiologist will go in, talk with the patient. When last did you eat? Because one of the things that people don't know, that you cannot eat before surgery. Some people before, yeah, okay, let me just call it right there. The pre-operative assessment, you have to go and tell the patient what all needs to be done, how long the procedure is going to be, and eliminate all that doubt, ask them all the question, all that thing have to be settled, and tell them the method of anesthetic you're going to use, and you tell them the step-by-step process so they can be prepared mentally as they go in there. Because the fear of the unknown can even kill them while receiving the procedure. Thank you.
Well, I want us to end up with the investigative report from the Joint Security today on the Capitol building fire situation. Everyone here must have watched the video already. What the fire service and the police said today, their findings are so far as the investigation continues, is an arson attack. That's according to the Joint Security. And they have reached out to persons of interest, some of the perpetrators, and they want them to start going now and view themselves to be talked to, because they are persons of interest, or let's say alleged perpetrators. They are persons of interest so far, and that nobody is above the law. It's no longer a speculation and all of those things, whether maybe it was electrical shock. The Joint Security has dismissed anything that has to do with electrical shock. They're saying that it was an arson attack, which means that somebody or a group of individuals knowingly, intentionally used flammables and set the Capitol building on fire. I mean, let's start the conversation from here. And let's start with you, Cindy. We're going to go to Alfred, and then Famole will take us home on this one.
Well, yeah, Nelson, you guys can hear me, right? Good. Look, it's a good thing that they have discovered the cause of the fire. For me, I think that's a good step for the investigation to reach this far. I think what we need to know also is the type of material that was used or maybe found even the Capitol building to identify the cause. Maybe the people would want to know that. Another thing I found interesting, and maybe I don't know the process. I'm not into any law enforcement thing. But if you identify, if you have people that you believe are people suspects, do you invite them to come or do you just go and arrest them? I don't know how it works because this is a major thing, right? So, for instance, I know that I'm part of this. You send me an invite. I'm not restricted from traveling from Liberia at this point. Maybe if I know this is a serious thing, I will escape. But I will hope that maybe those people, the ID will tell us today that we have already arrested, folks of interest, and I mean they are even detained and they are being investigated. I would think that would be the process. Again, I don't know the process. I'm not into any law enforcement, but I would think it would be easier that way than to say we're inviting them. We know that there's a cause. Someone intentionally or people intentionally set the Capitol building on fire, a very major government institution. We know, but we are inviting them to come. We're telling them you'll come. Now, if you don't come, then we will come and get you. I don't know how that works. But again, it's a good thing that they have identified. I would want to know more, how they came up with that conclusion. And we'll also like to know the names and the individuals that are part of this. So it's a good thing.
Well, there are information that big hands or big heads are connected to this fire incident.
Yep. Go ahead, sorry.
And with what's coming out now, Liberians can only look forward to see how this thing is going to go.
Listen, there is no big hand, there is no small hand in any given country. There shouldn't be. When former president, now president-elect, soon to be president again, Donald Trump, mansion in Florida was raided by FBI. They didn't say he was a big hand. Before Donald Trump could wake up that day, helicopter was all over a house. The FBI was on the ground. They boot into the house and check everything, grab everything they need to grab. He was former president of the United States. They didn't say big hand. The former president of Japan, there's an arrest warrant.
Korea.
South Korea, sorry. South Korea, not North. South Korea. Arrest warrant has been issued. The citizen kind of prevented the first arrest warrant. Now they have been reissued for him to be rearrested for initiating martial law in the country. He was removed recently as a president. Nelson, my brother said, like, bro, we're not a serious country. You were angry. I'm angry. I took great exception. I'm a serious country. You do big things. You don't need to consult. If the speaker is involved, if Funati Kofa is involved, arrest him. I'm here in support of Funati Kofa. I'm here saying that you remove him illegally. But if his remover, if he is involved, because he was removed as speaker, which is not his father's farm, because of that, he goes set the Capitol building on fire, let him be in jail by now while the investigation is going on. There's no big hand, there is no small hand.
Thank you, Sandy. Alfred, you want to weigh in your thoughts on this issue as we wind down?
Yeah, I was listening to my brother and I saw the energy, But again, this is Liberia. This country is now a serious country. Few years ago, we saw Bati Yiswa and others were killed. They were deliberately killed. A sitting president, sat there and said they were doing boyfriend and girlfriend business. What happened to that case? Nothing came out of it. We still have perpetrators, those that did that murder. Innocent people were killed. We can't find one person. That's the same thing with the Capitol building. You have the police RG who has never gotten any primary incident report as it relates to the incident that occurred on the Capitol building. He described it as arson. That's why I say he's supposed to resign. He does his own record of saying that the incident was an arson, whereas there was no investigation, there was no primary evidence to show that this particular incident that occurred even though we saw the Capitol building burning, he ran quickly more and said that was arson. Nobody forced him to talk. How do you want me to believe the so-called investigative report when you have a senior law enforcement officer that's supposed to know better? Suggesting to the Liberian people that the incident that occurred, he had not investigated it, you know what happened, he just got fired, he said that arson right away. Then he come today and tell us, say, the investigative report that they did, they get evidence and that arson. Gregory is supposed to resign. But these guys they didn't get no integrity. All of them, they use Liberia as a way to go and make money. Liberia is the LFME, everybody can make money. Nobody want to make sacrifice. The country is dying because those that are in leadership, they have no vision, they have nothing. They just only there to enjoy themselves, womanize all around the place, and just leave the country in shambles. That's what they're doing.
Let's hold you there. Fambole, let's hear you.
All right, Nelson, I'm not going to go on a path to say that my country, Liberia, that we all love so dearly, is not a serious country. Liberia is a serious country. They say until the rotten tooth is pulled out, the mouth must chew with caution. You cannot continue to attribute Liberia's problem to just a selected few. This is an old age problem. And the IG was very emphatic. That's the reason why when people are speaking, you listen to them void of emotion or sentiment. He said they are investigating. That means what they are doing is still progressive. But from the evidence that they have gathered in the preliminary stage of their investigation, it shows signs of arson. That means they use various methods of hypothesis and they set up this fast-finding line. They said, look, we checked two electrical line. We're checking two electrical, and we saw that it is not possible that this fire can erupt from electricity. So they eliminate the other option. And then he came back, he said, when you look at the smoke and how the smoke really blazed up all the way up to the veranda and it burned the entire main central chamber of the House of Legislature, it has also eliminated our doubt that this was caused by electricity. It was not a one-man show. He said this fire erupted from multiple points. So we, from the science background, we said that you cannot conclusively conclude that what he said was wrong because you are just basing this on your own opinion. He is investigating. They have already have some evidence. He do not expect the IG to come up and tell you the level of evidence that they have. He made it clear.
No, let's give family his time. Interruption.
He said that people of interest has already been communicated with. If they fail to show up when the time reach for that part of the investigation, because investigation have phases. I don't know law enforcement. We are not trained for that. We only come here, sit there, and analyze from what they tell us, and we make our own individual and no judgment. But they are the expert. They are using their own intelligence. He has been trained not only in Liberia. He has the technical know-how. He has been outside of the country and get a lot of knowledge when it comes to investigation and criminal and circumstances. So I don't want to conclusively conclude that Gregory Como was wrong by saying that people of interest will be arrested. He said if we send for you and refuse to come, we'll arrest you. And more besides, let me just Alfred keep disrupting me with a finger. Let me tell you, people should not in any way revert to damaging the country because of political disagreement. This is what we call real or satanic. When environment say this is satanic, and I say it is Baphomeric, it is Luciferic. You can use all the very, very strong adjectives to describe people who are very, I don't know, Masonic. You use all of them to come and destroy and burn the country. Already, you're not doing anything for the people. Then you can burn the main central chamber that was even existing before you. You burn the people's property. That is not something that anybody should tolerate or politicize. Let's go for the culprit. Once we find them, let's bring them to justice and let them be prosecuted. Whether you representative or what, we'll bring you to the book and we'll prosecute you. Thank you, Nelson.
I want us to go to the phone lines and take just a few calls because
I have a question for Famula. Did you
Marcel, I get question for Famula, please.
The Famula tell you.
So yeah,
yes.
Conclusively conclude. You know, like you saying that I conclude.
Can I ask my question on Famula?
0555105.
Didn't this RG to all of the security bidding?
Alfred, I want us to go to the phone lines at this point. Let's hear from our callers. Let's hear from our viewers. Hello, your name and where you call from?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you quickly.
This is William Bella. I call from Maggie County.
William, let's hear you.
Thank God. Africa is not serious. Africa not serious today. Africa not serious tomorrow. Only hear the family, the country should hear everyone or sitting over there talking. It will say they will sit down. They just sitting down. People in the country they have a notion. Political being they swear the damage in the country. After sitting, he not even care. Who is he to say this Argentina serious? You are best for working for all. How many persons died in the country you take over?
Okay.
So let Africa be serious. Africa not serious.
Thank
You're
you.
not serious. As soon as you say Labrador serious, not serious. Then you stop.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's hold you there. We respect your view. Hello, your name and where you call from, sir?
Yeah, Nancy, how you doing?
Yes, sir. We okay. Let's hear you.
Listen, Famula, thank you very much. Sandy, your thank you. Alfred, the kind of a day-by-day behavior we have in Liberia, our country is 170 some more years in Liberia. 4 auditors were killed in Liberia with no investigation. My own little cousin came from Nima. They killed her. Nothing happened out of that. This one, the nonsensical behavior of some of our politicians in Liberia will lead them to forever jail. Forever jail. Liberia is not for one person. Liberia is for all of us. What the IG said today, he was clear. He's a professional security man. He can't come up and tell somebody, say, this is what happening, that is what happening. He will be in the middle. The way he's supposed to speak, that what he spoke today. That's it. And those nonsensical behavior of some of those representatives, it will come up. Liberia will be fine. Thank you very much.
Let's hold you there. Thank you. Let's take another caller here. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is Joan here, and I call you from Connecticut.
Okay.
So City, yeah. I mean, I would like to agree with City to some extent. Liberia has to be a serious country.
I think it's
look at what is happening in the US now. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead. You're live.
Look at what's happening in the US. Donald Trump is the next president, the president-elect, and the guy is being investigated. I think he's being prosecuted.
You say you think?
Well, I mean, so to say, well, I know that he will be prosecuted. He'll be tried. So Liberia will never improve if we can't let go of this Liberia thing. Even Joseph Nimo Bokada has support if he's corrupt. He should be arrested immediately prosecuted.
Okay.
Liberia is a country, the oldest independent African black country in the world. And I mean, African. Look at where we are. We're celebrating Ghana, celebrating Nigeria. I mean, well, we have to be serious as a nation, man.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your input.
That's good.
Okay.
I'm gonna trust no.
Yeah, let's hold you there. We'll take 2 more calls and then we wrap up. We're running out of time now. We have less than let's say about 10 minutes to be here. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
Nancy.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Go ahead.
My name is Anthony. I'm the vice president for Motorcycle Affairs Republic of Liberia.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
I seriously want to condemn those that attack the truck. But those trucks are being their normal behavior. Excessive speeding. Let's say what took place today. If you were there before it took place and you saw how the car was speeding without the Samuka road, you won't believe it. That Dixie road also, they have killed many motorcyclists there, including bus driver, Keke. We are laid complaint to the government over and over, and up to now the government is not really taking serious measure and action against these guys. So again, we want to sound our voice that the government, the regulatory authorities should come in and make sure that action be taken against these travelers.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to hold you there and take another person. Tommy Jr., go ahead. You're live. Let's hear you.
Nelson, thanks for taking my call, and just want to say good evening to everybody on the panel. Another great discussion. Nelson, I sort of kind of like to shy away from making such general statement as saying like Liberia is not serious without providing context. I think our brothers have to be careful because they shed a negative light on a country that has shown much resilience, shown much progress. I think we have to be specific in our description of what is serious and what is not serious or unserious, whichever way you want to describe it. I think it's fair to say some actions of our political leaders are unserious. That's fair. But the generalized to the entire country is not serious. I think that's a bold statement that shouldn't be made, quite frankly. I think we have shown a lot of strides from the recovery from our 14 years of civil war. From, again, I mentioned the resilience that we have shown. There's a lot of things that can be attributed to a country that have shown a trajectory towards the serious category. And so our brothers just got to be careful is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to end on this. Look, Nelson, the investigation hasn't been pleasant to anybody, any serious person. 2 updates in weeks, that is on, it's not acceptable. The IG has to do a better job. The government has to do a better job. I hope this doesn't end into another noise where everybody gets excited about the potential of people being tried, and then the noise died down because something else happened. Thank you for your time, Nelson. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much for your input. We take 1 call from the local line, and then 1 from the WhatsApp. Hello.
Nelson, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
This is Pascal Davis. Look, Nelson, we have to be serious. When you have a government that becomes lawless, the state will become lawless. When one of your colleagues or your guests said, our country is not serious, he's very serious and meant what he said. This is the same Gregory who honored his words. Citizens were being killed in Kidmore, right here in Liberia. He lied and lied and lied to Liberians. In fact, after murdering our people in Kidmore, family members were getting 5,000 disgracefully. When we come to say the country is lawless, why is it that your guests are not talking to Mr. Bucker, the president?
Okay.
Who has disrespected all of our laws in this country? And somebody can say, don't say the country is not serious. We are not doing damn serious. It's a fact. And when we come, we must say it.
Thank you very much for your input, sir. I want to hold you there and take the final caller here because we're out of time. Hello.
Hey, Nelson, how you doing, my brother?
Yes, sir. It's good to have you on.
Man, good, man. Thanks for the show and thanks to your panel. Look, my brother, we have a problem. Liberia has a problem. And, you know, sometimes it hurts. You have a country that is sitting on a gold mine, Liberia, where everybody supposed to be on the shiny hill in Liberia. But yet, we have a problem. The fundamental problem that we have not even solved yet is the rule of law. We can say, well, the people not, they're crazy. People not, maybe say all those stuff that we talked about. The first thing is that we don't respect the law. They talk about the police. People say, well, where are the police? First of all, you do not even have the infrastructure. You got the name police, but they have nothing. Where are the police cars? Where are the uniforms? You got police in the street taking $5 from people because they don't take pay. You talk about fire service. You don't even have trust for fire service. So all of these things, the fundamental cornerstone of any country is first the rule of law. The rule of law laid down the foundation that everything will spring up, but you don't have that. People do things and they go free because they feel that they do it, there will be no repercussion.
Thank you.
They go free. So fundamentally, until we can address that one single issue, the corruption is in Liberia because fundamentally they are not punished because we don't respect the law. That's it. No other thing wrong with Liberia. We do not observe the rule of law. That's it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your input. We appreciate you, sir. Let me squeeze in the final person here. This very final person, John Fireman. Okay, then I'll get Vincent Cooper. Vincent Cooper is a firefighter. He will be the final person. But John, please go ahead quickly.
Okay, good evening, Nelson, and good evening to the rest of your panelists. For the record, my name is John Fireman. I think join from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nelson, any place right, yeah? If at all is a speaker that is involved into the particular investigation, no matter how you say on the show, you don't compete him. Come to the United States. Even governor in our city here was called, he sat down by a driver of our city, according and they got to find him. He's the governor. So they have to see, we just got to do the direct measure. No matter which, no matter what position. You will not say because you speak up or because you represent you go care for the capital building of a country. Only because of political needs, you got to be serious in that country.
Thank you.
On the other side, say the country is not. The country is serious, but our mindset, we got to change the mindset of Liberia. That's the only way the country will go forward.
Thank you
very so much for the.
Thank you for your input. Vincent Cooper will be the last person on the show now. Hello, Vincent. Go ahead. You're live. Let's hear you. Your take.
Yeah, Nelson.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today? Hi to all of the panelists and hi to the Liberian people also. I'm live right now, Nelson.
Yeah, you're live. Or you want to speak off air? Then we can have you off.
No. I can just say my piece. I was listening to the report, today from the IG and the director of the Liberia National Fire Service. And based on the conversation tonight, I just thought to give my little piece.
Just go ahead quickly because we are out of time. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm disappointed. That I think the fire service director should be taking this as an opportunity to let the public know that the fire service has challenges, and this is the time that the challenges we see and the government needs to do more. You see, from the elaboration today on the preliminary information that is just presented to the public, if you watch, the IG was presenting more information as compared to the fire service director. And it's not that the director cannot provide information, but the challenges they have, he does not have the capacity right now, I can assure you that, to provide those information, because before you provide those information, there are things you need to have in place. And I'm sure they don't have them because of the challenges they are facing.
Okay.
You see, I thought today that the Liberal National Fire Service Director would have come with him at that report with the chief of investigator at the Liberal National Fire Service to provide more clarity on this kind of preliminary report you're providing to the public. But no, if you look at it today, the fire service director did not say anything much. It was just the IG providing information. Those information he was giving are information that should have come from the fire service director and even elaborate furthermore.
Okay.
But again, we're still watching the entire investigation is not completed yet. We still watch to see what they will come up with. But I hope the next time the fire service director will come with the chief of investigator who is taking his time to collect all of the prima facie to make the critical analysis he needs to make toward getting to the conclusion of the investigation report.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vincent. We appreciate your input tonight. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so we'll have to do our closing. Alfred, you can go. Then we take Cindy. We take Fambule right after you, and then Cindy will be last.
Nelson, former Ghana president, the late Jerry Rawlings said this in our code. Until we can be bold enough to value truth in our society, that's the only way justice will be served. In this country, Liberia, we don't look at each other and say to each other, you are wrong. We always love to hide behind this quote-unquote culture. We hide behind the quote-unquote culture. That, oh yeah, they've been at my cousin, that my nephew, that my cousin, that my grandpa, that my from the same region, and this and that. At the end of the day, we bend the rule of law. So Nelson, the economic prosperity and the job opportunities we are talking about here, every day we come here, we'll talk about it, will never happen in the absence of the rule of law. The democracy that we have, the relative democracy that we have nurtured since the end of Civil War, will only continue if we go about respecting our laws on the book. Everything we explain here, everything we talk about here, Nelson, is happening because of the lack of rule of law. That's why everything is happening. So when we come here, we say this country is now a serious country. We're seeing it from a place of frustration. No one loves this country more than I do. I love my country. That's why I'm frustrated. That when I come here and I say the country is not serious, I'm not saying it to say that everybody in the country is not serious. I'm directing my frustration to the leadership. Because when the leadership does good, the people thrive. When you have a leadership that is corrupt, when you have a leadership that lacks vision, when you have a leadership that only cares about they and their family, as is evidenced by what we see happening at the level of the legislature, the country is bound to be unserious. And I don't mince my word to say the country is unserious. Because what we expect a serious country to be doing, Liberia is still here middle miles away from it. I would like to close on the Nelson. I will urge Speaker Kofa to do the honorable thing, to resign the position and resign from the position of representative and go back into his practice, into his private practice, and see. Let's see whether Joseph Boakai will do miracle to face Liberia. Because that's the only thing he wants, to remove Fonati Kofa illegally, then he will face Liberia, because you already said it. I don't care what they do, we face the country. He's on record saying that. I want to see Joseph Boakai miraculously changing Liberia when Kofa is no more speaker, when Kofa is no more representative in the House of Representatives. If I was close to Speaker Kofa, this would be my advice. Resign that position and resign from the position of representative. Go back home and think about the next future of what you can do for your country. Thank you.
Thank you. Fambole?
Thank you very much, Nelson. I like the part that he said.
But what Alfred? Alfred, do your closing and then you just left?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do
I
that.
love
To,
the
that'll
I
come
love
back.
the part. I love the part that he closed with. That's a good one. He said the president is on record for saying we will face this country no matter what any other person think about. I love that. He said we for Liberia to be better, to be fixed, it takes the collective effort of everyone, including Africa. We, if we continue to preach positivity and breathe in high sense of optimism, the country will change. But if we continue to push down negativity and always look at Liberia to be at the end of the tunnel, Liberia will always be like that because the power of life and death is always on the tongue. We cannot keep. It's almost like the baby mom is always cursing the baby pie. Say you don't use that man. You buy you did that. You did that. Then she will be the same person coming back to the man say, "Oh, what the baby full money here." You are over to the man say the man useless. Nothing will come on all of the men. Then you can't ask for the men for people full money. That's an embarrassment for yourself. So
Too much responsibility.
That is responsibility. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, but why you crossing the man for now? You crossing him. Then you expect something good to come from him again. No, you can't be crossing the man. You can't be saying, "La bro, now see you," and then you want for something good to come from la bro. That is a contradiction. So let's continue to preach unity because our people says, according to our writings, they say in unity, strong success will show that we all will not fail. We go above our rights to prove we all will overall prevail. Thank you. We love Liberia, but Liberians let us love Liberia for ourselves. Let us build our country and let us develop our country and our
Sandy?
mindset. Thank you.
Sandy, go ahead.
Let me end again by sending my condolences to the family of the deceased, the 21-year-old young man who lost his life, and the individual who also lost his life due to the accident. Look, I hate to dwell on the statement Alfred made, but I see folks here twisting it. Look, when Alfred said that Liberia is not a serious country, a country is not just made by the landmass, a country is made by individuals. A country is also, the seriousness of a nation is determined by the seriousness of the governance systems and those in government. Let's ask ourselves, post-war Liberia, since Madame Salih became president up to this time, what has been some major landmarks in terms of development and positive transformation that the Liberian people are seeing? Minimum. Other countries, Rwanda, for instance, had terrible experience, took lesser time to get to where they are, where your very same government official are sending their children for schooling. Ghana a few years ago was in the same position we were. Now, every one of us want to send our children to Ghana. We want to go for holiday vacation to Ghana. We want to go to Rwanda. Nelson, the unseriousness of our leaders, the selfishness of our leaders, the self-centeredness of our leaders, the wickedness of our leaders place our country in a position of a serious country. That does not negate that we don't love Liberia, but our leaders are not serious to transform the Liberian people's life and to transform our country. When you walk out of your country and go to other African countries, you become instantly embarrassed. Liberia, a very naturally rich country, is the third poorest in the world, if I'm not mistaken, according to statistics. One of the poorest in Africa. Rwanda, a landlocked country with nothing really to show in terms of natural resources. Almost all your representatives and senators and ministers, they're sending their children in there. Your government official, Nelson, they buy homes in Ghana. They buy homes in Dubai. They buy homes in Africa. They buy homes in Nigeria. And they come on Spoon and other radio and they are boasting our own homes in Ghana, in Dubai, in this country, in Libya, here and there, in America.
Banjul, Gambia. your senator, he get winning banjo.
Have you ever seen a Ghanaian official come to your country to buy a home? Have you ever seen a Rwanda government official get out of Rwanda to buy a home? Then you want us to sit there and say we have a serious country? The governors of our country, those in power, are unserious and therefore put us in the position of an Assyrian nation until they can be serious to transform Liberia, until they can be serious to develop our country, until they can put the Liberian people first. Liberia is an Assyrian nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandy, Mr. Gerald Sandy, the citizen of an serious nation. I'm
Yeah,
serious
for just
citizen
jumping
of
up and down behind him.
But what I appreciate
You don't have to end on that note, Nelson.
is want to say thanks to everyone. It's been a great show, guys. We look forward to being here tomorrow. They will come again. Thanks to our audience, everyone for watching. Henrietta Morgan, Akona Morgan, Zai Molu, George Blamo, Ruth, go by my Ruth. We appreciate you. Noosh,
When Maru will come on the show or call.
Madam Marcia Snelling, Lynn Lakpo, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate all of you. And yes, this is our own way of contributing to the national discourse. We all want to see Liberia do better, and gradually we're going to get there. And John Fireman, Tommy Jr., everyone, we appreciate you for being on here tonight. Just before we go, let me do a special birthday greeting to Waymond Bono. Yes, the young man, 13 years ago, he was a baby. He's celebrating his 13th birthday today. I'm wishing you all the best, Waymond, and your mom, Lavette Bondo, your dad, Waymond Bondo, your cousins, your sisters, and from me, your uncle. I'm wishing you happy birthday as well as you celebrate your natal day today. That's you, Waymond Bondo Jr. And thanks to everyone for being on tonight. The show will be back on the radio tomorrow. Until then, have a good night, everyone, and bye bye for now.